Hi, I'm Matt.
And I'm Gillian, and we will be walking you through this training video.
Thanks so much for volunteering to be a part of this year's Weekend Food and Beverage team for Toronto Pride 2015.
We have an important job ahead of us, but with some teamwork and diligent effort, this adventure should be a breeze.
Now, I'm sure you're all very busy people, so as much as we'd like to get acquainted, let's get down to business.
And pay close attention to the information we cover in this video, as it is crucial to our success as a team, and there will be a quiz at the end of the video.
Pride Toronto celebrates the history, courage, and diversity of Toronto's LGBTIQQ2SA communities.
Pride Toronto has 26 planning teams, 8 full-time staff, 11 volunteer board members, 150 year-round volunteers, and 1,800 weekend volunteers, of which the food and beverage team is 173.
Featured events at this year's Pride Festival include 2 marches, 1 parade, community street fair across 12 city blocks, 11 outdoor entertainment stages, 7 main stages, 4 community stages, and 1.5 million visitors. The purpose of the Weekend Food and Beverage team is to manage the on-site operation of food and water.
This includes setup, pickup and delivery, and distribution of food to volunteers.
That's right, Gillian. Our team is in charge of picking up food orders, delivering food and water to the teams working around the festival site, and distributing meals and snacks in volunteer headquarters.
Simply put, the purpose of this team is to keep all 2,000 plus volunteers fed and watered throughout the entirety of the Pride Festival. So if a volunteer faints from dehydration, that's on us.
No pressure or anything, but in the words of RuPaul, good luck and don't fuck it up.
But don't worry, we've got a team of knowledgeable and passionate leaders who will be volunteering alongside you to guide you through the process.
There are 5 different volunteer roles, and they are food pickup and delivery, food station attendant, food prep volunteer, food captain, and parade water distributor.
For the food pickup and delivery team, you will be going to Pizza at pre-scheduled times to pick up pizza orders and bring the pizzas back to volunteer headquarters. You will be in teams of 3, and each team will have a golf cart to help transport the pizza. You should have 1 team member driving and 2 team members to assist with crowd control as you navigate through the festival in order to deliver the pizza to the designated area.
The next role is the food station attendant. These volunteers will be in charge of the food station in the volunteer headquarters. This is the primary location volunteers will come to receive snacks, water, and meals before, during, and after these shifts. These volunteers will also maintain the food station by keeping it clean, keeping food covered and either on ice or overheat, and to keep ice buckets stocked with cold water. Food prep volunteers will have a similar role, but the meals you'll be assembling will be strictly for distribution to the other teams.
Food captain is the next role. The food captains are in charge of overseeing food and beverage volunteers in headquarters and assisting in meal distribution both within HQ and throughout the festival site.
Parade water distributor is the next role. In this role, you'll pick up grocery carts from nearby Loblaws. Use them to walk water up the parade route. Remember to wear a hat and stay hydrated while you're out in the sun. Volunteers will be given this role on the Sunday for the parade. Because the parade is quite long and usually on a very hot and sunny day, we distribute water along the route for the volunteers.
The festival will be split into 2 zones to make deliveries easier. There is the North Zone and the South Zone, and each zone has its own delivery team.
Each delivery site will be clearly marked on the map, and we will give you a copy of this map for all the pickup and delivery volunteers, so you'll know where you're going.
Along with the map, you will receive a pickup and delivery schedule. The runs you will be responsible for during your shift will be highlighted.
And the schedule, along with the map, will be a very important tool to make sure all of our pickups and deliveries are on time.
Those are all the roles, and as you can see, we will all be handling food in some way or another, so it is very important for us to do that properly.
It is also very important for the safety of us and all the other volunteers that we follow these simple guidelines. First, if you have long hair, tie it back or wear a hat.
Second, wash your hands frequently and wear gloves when you're serving food. When wearing gloves, remember to change them frequently. If you itch your nose, fix your hair, or check your phone, then change your gloves.
And number 3, keep hot food hot and cold food cold. Makes sense, right? Keep the food covered as much as possible and out of the sun.
And lastly, clean the workstation regularly and make sure the utensils are kept clean.
Pride Toronto is a safe space. While our primary duty is to feed people, it is also really important that we maintain the atmosphere of inclusivity and acceptance, not only to ensure Pride Festival attendants can have an enjoyable time on site, but also so that our fellow volunteers feel appreciated and comfortable.
Pronouns are one of the most fundamental components of gender identity and expression and must be spoken with intention and attention. When speaking with a fellow volunteer or Pride goer, ask them what pronouns they prefer or are comfortable with. If a person identifies as she, her, he, him, or they, them, Oblige that when addressing them. If someone identifies as a cis man or cis woman, this means that their gender and their sex align.
Asking which pronoun someone prefers is a great way to break the ice, start a conversation, and establish community built on inclusivity, acceptance, and awareness. Together we will make our headquarters, Pride 2015, and our own communities outside of HQB inclusive and identity positive.
If you want to learn more about trans inclusivity, let us know by email. We'll get you our contact info at the end of the video.
A note from the Accessibility team. Canada signed the UN Convention on Rights of a Person with Disabilities in 2007 and ratified it in 2010. If barriers exist, we must accommodate people. Accessibility is a human right.
Some of the services we offer during Pride are mobility devices, description and accessible formats, American Sign Language interpreters, accessible viewing locations, and an accessibility services hub.
Some tips for accessible customer service. Ask, how can I help you? Know the accessibility services being offered and where to find them. Abide by the principles of good customer service, dignity, integrity, fairness, and equal opportunity. Ask before touching someone's wheelchair, white cane, scooter, or other mobility device, and assume all people with disabilities have the same accessibility needs.
Here are some do's and don'ts for when you are offering service to someone who is blind or has low vision. Be as descriptive as possible when explaining an environment, situation, or document. Do offer your elbow and guide them through a crowded or potentially dangerous environment. Ask them if they require an elbow before guiding them, and do inform them that you are leaving.
Do not grab the person and begin guiding them through a crowd without asking if they require guiding. Do not touch or speak to their guide dog. Do not grab the person's white cane and begin guiding them with that. And do not assume that a person is completely blind.
And some do's and don'ts when offering service to those who are deaf or hard of hearing. Do speak directly to the person and not their interpreter. Do use an appropriate speed and tone when speaking. And do, if possible, maintain good eye contact with the person.
Do not cover your mouth when speaking to the person. Do not touch or speak to their hearing dog. Do not yell or speak loudly. Do not assume that every person is completely deaf. Do not assume that every person who is deaf can read or write English. This won't be the case if their first language is American Sign Language.
Some things to remember. Always try to see the person first before their disability. Ask first before giving assistance. Do not insist on helping if the person says no. If someone with a disability is with an assisting individual, address the person with the disability instead of speaking through the other person. Contact a team member if unsure on how to handle a situation, and always be respectful.
Some tips from the public safety team. In the event of emergency, never intervene in the emergency situation. Contact emergency services or radio dispatch, or call the Pride Toronto number on the back of your badge. Talk to your supervisor and then fill out an incident report.
If you get a radio, they are used for team communications during the weekend. Weekend volunteers should see team leads and radio holders in the event that another team needs to be contacted. And remember to keep non-emergency conversations to a minimum, request to meet and speak in person if you need to talk, protect the radio from water damage and don't drop it. Return your radio at the end of every shift.
Here's a volunteer checklist to make sure you're prepared. Bring a government-issued ID. Bring a hat, sunscreen, and comfortable shoes. Arrive 30 to 45 minutes before your shift, and when you arrive, check in with your shift supervisor. Ask your supervisor if you're unclear what your role is. Highlight any times when you feel like you are not being utilized. Take the appropriate breaks and notify the person in charge.
And some final administrative notes about volunteering for Pride Toronto. A confirmation of your hours is available upon request. Indicate this in your profile. And a volunteer appreciation party happens in August, so stay tuned for that.
Well, that is all you need to know for now. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us at foodandbeverage@pridetoronto.com. Want to be more social? Connect with the Pride Toronto team using @PrideToronto and hashtag PrideTO on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
And don't worry, we lied about there being a quiz at the end of the video. We just wanted to make sure that you paid attention. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Bye.